Now, 14 years ago, we met a woman named Beth who had been hiding a deep, dark secret. You see, Beth had a 9-year-old daughter named Hannah, and Beth believed that a man named Terry was Hannah's biological father. And from day one, Beth never told Hannah about Terry and never revealed to Terry that Hannah could be his daughter. But as fate would have it, Beth found out that Terry was dying and thought it was time to put this DNA mystery to rest. Watch. Now, why are you crying?
It just upsets me that I've just found Terry and she could lose him soon.
Was Hannah anxious to see him?
Oh, yes.
Were you nervous when you took Hannah to the hospital to see him?
Oh, yeah, I was afraid of what she would say, what she would think. But it was so neat to see them together finally.
Beth came to see me in the hospital and told me I had a 9-year-old daughter. I have a disease called cirrhosis of the liver, and the doctors gave me a year to live. I know that Hannah's my daughter because I feel it in my heart.
Finding out after all this time, were you shocked?
Very shocked.
How are you? Good to see you. Are you excited? Are you nervous?
I'm nervous.
You're nervous.
I told my mom if she found my dad, that would be my biggest wish ever.
When it comes to 9-year-old Hannah, you are the father.
Hannah, I want you to meet your dad, Terry.
This is your dad, Hannah. This is your father.
So, it's amazing. So after that show, Hannah spent some quality, emotional time with the father she had never known. Sadly, 1 year later, Terry died. Now, 9-year-old Hannah is all grown up, and she's come here with her mother, Beth, to tell us about how that paternity test changed her life.
When I left the Maury Show 14 years ago, I was so excited to finally know who my dad was.
When it comes to 9-year-old Hannah, you are the father.
All I ever wanted was my father in my life, and Maury gave that to me. My dad's liver condition worsened when we got home, and he spent most of that time in the hospital.
I wanted to make sure Hannah had as much time with Terry as possible, so I took her to the hospital to see him almost every day.
My dad would complain that he was cold in his room, so I made him a blanket, that way he could keep warm. I still carry this blanket with me till this day. I was with my father the day he died, and I'm so grateful that I could be there.
I thank God every day that I told Hannah the truth when I did. She got to spend Terry's last year with him.
14 years later, everybody, let's welcome Hannah and her mother, Beth. Look at you. Wow. All grown up, my Lord. We're all teary-eyed here. Wow, look at you. Look at that little girl.
I know.
Huh? Do you remember the time that you came on and your mom told you that you had a dad?
Just like yesterday. You
Really?
look the same.
I do?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. No. But Beth, I congratulate you on this. You made sure that at least they were able to have a year together.
Yep. I wanted to make sure that she had time with her dad.
I think most people, if you go back and think about what you remember when you were 9, we might think of one thing or two things or a couple of moments, but that year must have been special to you.
It was extraordinary. I got to meet my father, know exactly who he was, spend quality time with him right before he passed away. So it was extraordinary, and I thank you so very much for that.
And that blanket, you made that big blanket for him.
I did make that blanket for him because going and seeing him every day, the hospital blankets are very thin and they don't keep you warm, and because he was passing away, his body's shutting down and he's very cold. So I wanted to make sure that he was warm the very last days of his life.
But, you see, there is part of Terry in your life, right? Because he had another daughter.
Yes, he did.
Leanne.
Yes.
And you've gotten to know her all these years. What's that like?
Me and Leanne, we don't live in the same state. I try going up to Michigan once a year. That way we can spend quality time together and continue that bond and continue our family.
And Leanne's here. We're going to see her in a bit. And basically, you say that experience made you what you are today. What do you mean by that?
Coming to this show, it made me a strong woman because at such a young age, I went through so much. I found my father, I witnessed him deathly ill in his bed, and I had to understand that no matter how much horrible things you go through in life, there's always still a wonderful outcome in it, and that's my family.
Okay. We might as well bring your sister out here, right?
Yes.
She should see you. Here's Leanne. Leanne, come on out. Now, so what everybody should know is you came to the show 14 years ago. You had accompanied your father.
I did.
To find out.
I wanted to support my dad and to meet my sister.
When you saw Hannah, did you think your father was the father or not?
She looked just like him. You couldn't deny it.
How important do you think it was that she was able to see him for that last year?
It was very important. Mm-hmm.
And you two have kept up.
Yes. Yes, through whenever she comes to Michigan, and then through social media. She comes to dinners and...
And she basically keeps the memory of your father, alive.
She does. She does. And she looks just like him.
I'll tell you. Everybody asks me, why do we do these shows? I mean, what is it about these shows? And I said, I will rest on the possibility that a father can get into the life of the child when they don't know they're the father. And that's how, I hang the reason for this show on that. And you're the greatest example of a family.
And we thank you so very much.
Thank you, Maury.
We'll be back right after this. Thanks for watching, everybody. Now, if you want to see more Maury content, click here. And be sure to subscribe to be the first to know about new videos.